time to throw some chairs at Strike Suit Zero. This is from StrikeSuit0.com, developed by Born Ready Games using a custom engine. You can pick it up on Steam for $19.99. And it is a hybrid mech fighter combat game, much in the vein of Robotech. That's kind of neat. Yes, as Pedro was saying in his random Japanese gibberish. But yes, the Strike Suit Zero. So, if you haven't been watching this, and if you haven't, there's something seriously wrong with you, you'll know that we grade everything on a 4-chair metric based on 4 categories that Ben's going to show you in a bit. So, our rating system goes as follows. 1 chair means it's complete trash, garbage. No, bad. Ugh, terrible. 2 chairs means that it's decent. May not be the greatest, could use some work, but it's definitely serviceable. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good, it's solid, not perfect, but might as well be. And 4 chairs means, shut up and take my money. I'm throwing it at the screen and nothing's happening. And our categories of doom are mixed with the working, which is basically, does it work, does it run well? Shiny in sounds, how does it look, how does it sound, is it pretty, does it sound pretty, all that good stuff. Our controls section is pretty self-explanatory. How does it control, does it move well, does it control like I'm moving it with my ass? And like finally, our final subjective category, fun. Was it fun? Did we enjoy it? And so on and so forth.
Fun.
So, then, does it make with the working?
Well, making with the working with this Strike Suit Z, here it is in all its glory.
Pew, pew,
You're flying
pew.
about pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew.
22.
War was beginning.
Yes. And Open Parsec was also beginning around that time, but makes all the working confirmed on Ubuntu 12.04 LTS 32-bit with NVIDIA.
Take a drink.
Take a shot.
And you better take that drink. So, yeah, okay, fine. 4 chairs.
Woohoo!
P.
I'm not P. Anyways. Yeah,
I
worked
figured
on
you were
Fedora
pissing all over yourself with enjoyment.
Yeah.
Happens.
That happens.
Stones.
4 chairs. It
That's
works on
business.
Fedora 18, 64-bit, no problem.
Fedora 18, 64-bit?
Yeah.
What about the graphics?
NVIDIA and ATI.
No issue.
None.
None whatsoever here either. And well, someone corrected me in the notes, but it's Kurora 19 with AMD graphics on a calculator, 4 chairs, no problems whatsoever.
Well then, I
Yep.
think there might be other categories.
Yeah, there are. But first we gotta total up this one, and it's 4 chairs, because I can perform basic math in my head.
Oh, that hurts.
Shock and awe!
Do you actually mean that we, 3 different people, tested this and came up with 4 chairs because it works not only under the default Steam box, it works under Massa's Things.
Other Steambox.
Well,
Yes.
Fedora-based Steam box.
Fedora-based Steambox, it's all good.
And Hannah
Anyways.
Montana Linux.
On a
Kurora.
TI-83.
It's basically Fedora with a couple of changes, which I appreciate.
More sparkles to think about.
Sparkle. Speaking of sparkles, shiny and sounds, Ven, how do you think this game looked and sounded?
On first impression, this game was terrifying, petrifying, and stupefying. But then you live with it for a bit. You know, I mean a couple hours, and that might be a couple hours too long. Because you start noticing things like, with the sounds, folding. All right. Folding. neat concept for warp.
They also used it in Dune, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will kill him. Go on.
Okay. You threw off my game, man.
So say we all.
No, something so
So say
heavily
we
inspired by Battlestar Galactica with the initial music and all that bits. Why didn't you just call it Jump? Jump, I would have been happy with. And fighters don't get to jump, man. That's wrong. But as I was saying, strong BSG sound with the background. As soon as you get the strike suit Z, it goes full metal, K-pop type.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because in that particular, it was like, ooh, yeah, that's kind of neat. Then we'll get into the controls later about that. On closer inspection, at the end of the day, take a drink. The graphics, actually the ship models, not that terribly impressive. You can throw, some weird worlds behind it and some flares. Not a whole lot going on here. Still, I enjoyed it. With the shiny and sounds, I'm going to give it 3 chairs, man. I have no issue saying that.
I
Fair
too
enough.
dug the BSG soundtrack. I was pretending I was in a raptor flying around shooting crap. Sound-wise, I liked it. Yeah, I admit that it gets a little crazy once you get the strike suit zip, but I can forgive that. And I have to say, currently it's one of the best-looking games on Linux, and it's nice to see after months of retro pixel platformers and voxels and all that stuff. It's nice to see pretty stuff on my screen under Linux.
Yes.
So, by virtue of that, I will give it the 4 chairs because we need more games like this that look pretty. P-Man.
And not only does it just look pretty and sound amazing, which, like Ven said, once the J-pop kicks in, once you unlock the strike suit,
It really gets you in the mood, doesn't it?
yeah, it gets you in the mood. Give me something to shoot. I want to shoot at something. Yeah! But not just that, the game is stupidly well optimized. Jordan mentioned that there aren't a lot of games that look good on
I'll agree
Linux.
with you that it
Yeah.
doesn't really have to be, because all the models are incredibly simple.
But it is okay. Maybe on your end it doesn't have to be, but I actually tried and I removed the proprietary AMD drivers and I used just the open source ones, and it runs stupid silky smooth with
Old
everything
man.
up to the max, except for anti-aliasing, because that still drains a bit. But it ran stupid silky smooth. So 4 chairs for me.
Battlestar
No questions
Galactica
asked.
look like Sputnik.
Okay, that's blasphemy right there. But we'll forgive this for now.
How many chairs?
Yeah. 4 chairs for me. No questions asked, no quarter given.
Well, that's 3, 4, and 4. That'll average out to 3 chairs for shiny and sounds, so it's pretty good.
All right.
Moving on to the controls. Then, what did you think?
Controls, that's a sticky wicket. I actually added an extra one, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, take a drink. You need a controller once you get to the portion of the game where you're playing the Strike Suit Z. You do. I mean, it's such a mindfuck that you might be able to get through it with, a keyboard and your wireless gerbil. But after that, no. Auto lock is not a feature. It's a requirement. So you have to go borrow a controller from somebody's friend and...
Somebody's son, you mean?
Son's friend. Giggity. That's... not good. Not good. So, yeah, 2 chairs.
2 chairs.
I found I was playing this at first with the keyboard as well, just because for the dogfighting you kind of need more precision than the controller can afford you, especially
What
if
did
you're
you
stuck
think
using.
about the auto red lock on thingy?
It was all right, but for some of the guns you can't use it. Either way, played fairly well with the keyboard and mouse. It's a bit hard on my carpal tunnel addled wrist. But I agree with the Zen. Once you get the agree with Zen. Agree with Ven. Once you get the
Agree
strike
with
suit-
the Zod, bitch.
Kneel before Zod. Yeah, after you get the strike suit, you really do need a controller. And I found the problem I found was that the ship to ship mode was fairly unplayable for me with a controller. And the suit mode was unplayable without a controller. So every time I ran out of flux, I had to go to options, switch the input back to keyboard or back to controller, just so I could continue playing. So from that got kind of tedious after a while. But I mean, what can you do? I'll give this 2 chairs.
There we go.
At least the controls worked.
Yeah, well, for me, I started playing with this thing. From the
I was
beginning.
playing with the Xbox 360 controller, actually.
Ditto.
Yeah, mine's a PS2 DualShock. The vibration doesn't work, but
We live in the future.
yeah. But it's got the 2 analog sticks, which allow you to turn when using the strike suit. And that's actually necessary because if you have auto lock in the strike suit, it doesn't it's not okay, I'll tell you this. It introduces the change in controls between ship and the strike suit the same way a crazed horse introduces its turgid dick.
Well,
It's
you
about
know,
as bigoted or
Pedro, along with
unfriendly as possible.
J-Man, neither of you were paying me any attention when I said, like 2 weeks ago when I was talking about playing this game in the beta, and I was like, it's very jarring.
Hey, I wanted to
because
confirm
we
this for
weren't
myself.
playing it.
That's the reason I started off with keyboard. I wanted to replicate your experience to see if it held any water, and it did.
Yeah, but even with the controller, it's noticeable because you're used to controlling the ship in a certain way, and as soon as you press that transform
Physics
button,
are all-
mother
Yeah,
fucker.
because
Yeah.
fuck you, that's why.
Chairs.
All right, so that
Ooh.
that averages out to 2 chairs on the control section. Not so great. And finally, our last subjective category. And I am contractually obligated to state that we are 3 different people on 3 different operating systems with 3 different sets of hardware. So take that for what it's worth. Then, did you have fun?
Lies, damn lies, and statistics. It's fun once you get used to the SSZ. And that does require actually borrowing your neighbor's son's Xbox spare controller and syncing it and doing all that. Here's what I'm going to say at the end of the day.
Take a drink.
Here it is. It looks good. It's brilliant. It's currently on sale for 10 quid. I'm going to say buy it at that. At 20 quid, normal price, fuck all, no way. Because it is basically a game where even if you get the, strike suit Z, you hit lock on and you hold down kill. Yeah. So for fun, yeah, 2 chairs.
Now, I came into this game expecting, mech combat. That's what I like. That's what I wanted from this game. I do not like the fact that you have to charge up your mech every time through some abstract flux mechanism. That's stupid. needs more strike suit. I should be able to transform from strike suit to strike
Strike
mode
suit?
to ship mode or whatever. Yeah, whatever. From suit mode to ship mode, whenever I want to, not when I charge up my dealie. So I want more strike suit. Devs, take note. Pedro mentions this before, or rather after, but this thing is basically like a giant escort mission, and that gets pretty grating. With like these alternate win conditions, I can stay alive as long as I need to, but if I have to keep other people alive, that's when we're gonna run into problems.
But it's absolutely gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. I will give it that. Again, one of the best looking games on Linux today, and I can see it has the potential to grow
But
on me.
J-Man, is
What?
it fun?
Is it fun? I'm getting to that, Ben. I would say it's 2 chairs worth of fun.
2.
At this point, I don't absolutely love it. It might grow on me given some time, but right now, dos. P-Men.
Okay, so maybe it was just me that, I started playing with the controller and I got used to I didn't actually get used to, but it mellowed out the jarring of switching between ship and the strike suit. It sort of mellowed out for me and I started to ease into it. And I managed to enjoy the game until the
Is that what
fucking
Nori
escort
told you?
mission
Just
started.
ease into it.
Giggity.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah,
those
take a drink.
Those fucking escort missions. Seriously, it's exactly.
You're
what
not
you
a fan
said.
of escorts?
No, I fucking loathe them.
I don't want to have to worry about
And
keeping
that-
other people alive. It's in Pedro.
Yeah, and you always have to defend. It's always the fucking Arcadia. I'm 5 missions in and I have to defend the fucking Arcadia. I'm getting tired. That's the only reason I
Yeah.
can't give it a perfect score. 3 chairs.
So that'll
Fucking
total up.
escort missions.
That'll average up to about 2 chairs on the fun category. So our final verdict, combining all our
Boom,
categories into a
Boom,
lovely
boom.
little love stew
Boom,
of
boom,
hatred and
boom,
blah.
boom.
2 chairs. So not sure if want. What this means is that depending on your taste, you may like this game, you may hate this game. Definitely check it out. It's like I said, or like Ben said, it's on sale for $10. Skip going out to Subway for lunch one day and pick this game up. Give it a
I
shot.
think
You
definitely
might like
our final verdict, I'm completely with you on that. For 20 quid, no. 9 quid, definitely check it out. I mean, it runs good on these guys, custom engine.
It looks
Apparently-
great.
It runs stupidly well. It's very well optimized. They did a really good job on the graphics.
Runs
'Cause
under
like I said-
open source graphics.
Yeah, open source
That's
drivers and it
nuts.
runs silky smooth.
I wouldn't
My
trust it with
God.
Nouveau though. I definitely wouldn't trust it with Nouveau though.
Yeah, Nouveau isn't as good as Gallium, granted.
But that's going to
But
do it
yeah.
for the review section. So.